Is this the one? I think it is. Yeah. Okay, we're back. So, not sure what happened there. Where were we? So, I just got booted from the stream for some reason. Don't know how that happened. Maybe it was an hour long. I don't know. So where did we leave? So we've got Higgsy's the only person who's made his pit stop. He pit from the lead off his softs. He's going to try and go all the way to the end of the race on these medium tires. So he's on his first full lap now. We've got Asseldor, who is the lead driver on the mediums, ahead of Sargent, who made a mistake and lost the lead. Then we've got Wack holding off Gilles Fack and Eroticos, and soon to be Perry on his hard tires as well. We've got Scotty with connection issues with his wheel, and then we've got Raf, our champion, just chilling in 9th place, lapping in the 2 minutes, not really in any kind of hurry in this race. So let's get back started. End of lap 9, not expecting anyone to come into the pits yet. It's a bit of an awkward time, I say that, but Perry is coming in, so he's going to try and do a very long medium stint. That is going to be a 12 laps on the mediums, which actually is going to be shorter than what I'm expecting a lot of these guys who are staying out to do. Scotty is carrying on, Raf is carrying on, and Higgsy is going to be comfortably ahead of Perry, surely. I think he must have had about a 10-second plus gap on Perry. Yeah, he is comfortably ahead. Perry's still putting in fuel. He's only putting in 78%, which is less than what Higgsy currently has in his tank. So let's see what the lap times everyone's doing. So we've got 59s for Asseldor and Sargent, very similar, and for Wack. Actually, everyone's pretty similar. Eroticos has dropped into the 2 minutes. Scotty's pretty quick at 59.4. Raf's in the 2 minute ones. Then we got Higgsy in the low 59, so he is the fastest man on the track, which you'd expect because he's got the freshest tyres on. Then we've got Perry with even fresher tyres, so when he finishes this out lap, he might have a go at beating Higgsy's fastest lap that he's got. But Higgsy did set that on the soft tyres. 57.4. So I have to wait and see who actually risks the softs. So since Asseldor's overtook Sargent, he hasn't actually dropped Sargent, really. So Sargent's having a good little feature race here. And he might actually be able to get a podium out of this if he avoids any mistakes. I think Higgsy's probably my favourite to win at this stage, as long as he can nurse those mediums to the finish line. Wack has started to pull a little bit on Gilles, and we're getting a bit of a field spread here between these 4 cars. Obviously Perry was just behind them, so I'm expecting Perry to get a bit of an undercut on these guys. Scotty's got himself a half-second penalty, but again comfortably ahead of Raf. Higgsy, let's see if he can get himself into the 58s here on these mediums, because if he can, this is going to be really crucial for, 58.8 compared to Asseldor of 59.6, so he's 8/10 quicker than Asseldor with the fresher tyres. Continuing to pull, and Asseldor really is the closest person who could probably beat Higgsy here, unless the rain comes down pretty soon. But look at the tyres, like, is Wack going to be able to do another 3 laps on these? Gilles are in a little bit better condition. Wack's doing really well on his tyres. He's putting a bit of pressure now on Gilles. Yeah, nose to tail. These are P2 and P3 of the standings. Both of them would love to finish the season at least on the podium. You see a very dark cloud forming above I wonder if that's going to be coming onto the track in the next couple of laps. Everyone will be frantically checking their weather radar, having seen that cloud, to see if it's just a cloud or if it's actually got some rain knocking about in there. Everyone losing a lot of pace here. Erotico's got Scotty with his half-second penalty, still comfortably ahead of Raf. And then Higgsy, let's see if he's going purple on this lap. I doubt he will be. But he needs to be in the 58s again here, I reckon. If the rain comes now, this is absolutely tragic for Higgsy's race. But it's the risk that you take if you want to do an early pit stop on a track where it can rain. Rain and traffic are the two things that could ruin the alternate strategy like that. All the way down to first for the chicane is a bit surprising. MR cars don't like it. Raf's in now. So Raf is going to do mediums to the end. He thinks that now is the right time. 10 laps on those mediums. Sounds about right for the Lexus. So if they want to do the medium soft, they're going to have to stay out for 3 more laps. Asseldor's got about 20% tyre life left. Sargent's even less than that. He's not going to be able to do it, I don't think. Or that he can, but the final lap is going to be tragic. Wack is even worse than Sargent. Gilles, oh, you could see the tyre life just going corner by corner there. Might be okay. Fack would be fine to do 14, I think. Eroticos I don't think can. So some of these might end up going on hard tyres, you know. I feel like they've been wearing the tyres a little bit more than I would have expected. But they have been doing a lot of battling. Especially Wack, Gilles and Fack have been doing a lot, and Eroticos have been doing a lot of fighting in this opening stint. It's been a bit easier for Asseldor. He's only really had to battle with Sargent a little bit. It is easy when you're at the front to manage your tyres. It's a psychological thing more than anything, I reckon. So if anyone's gonna abandon and go on to the hards for the rest of the race, this is probably the lap to do it. But these two are carrying on. I mean, you might as well. Everyone else looks like they're carrying on. What about Eroticos? Carries on as well, even though he's dropping back massively now. Scotty's still carrying on. He's got really good pace, which is a shame for him. Then we got Higgsy. 2 laps in the 58s. Let's see what Asseldor set this time. So we've got 2 minutes now for Asseldor, Sargent. Wax in the 2 minutes. Gilles is in the 2 minutes. Fack is in the 2 minutes. Everyone apart from Scotty is in the 2 minutes. And Higgsy is in the 58s. So he's basically 2 seconds a lap quicker than everyone in the lead pack. So he's going to have a huge lead if they all make a pit stop in the next lap or two and there's no rain to be seen. Unfortunately, can't really see what the sky looks like. It doesn't look like it's a cloudy sky, does it? Let's see. Well, there's the rain cloud. So is that coming onto the track? That's the question. Quite a nasty one. If it comes, this would be absolutely perfect for Asseldor, as long as he gets the tyre call right. The rain comes down very hard at Nurburgring. I think it's one of those tracks where it'll just absolutely chuck it down out of nowhere and then stop again, and all of a sudden, within the space of like 5 seconds, you've gone from dry to wet tyres. Oh, we got a bit of a battle here between Gilles and Wack. Let's go back and see how this happened. Does Wack just get it a bit wrong? A little bit wide. Very wide. And there we go. It looks pretty straightforward, unless Wack's really late on the brakes, but he doesn't have the tyres really to be challenging too much. He needs to conserve those tyres for one more lap. Looks like Asseldor's into the pits. Looks like he's the only one, so he's going to have a bit of an undercut on everyone else. So I'm really keen to see where Asseldor comes out compared to Higsy here. So we'll see about that when... We'll see where Higsy hits the pit exit line. So he hits it at 26.20. Remember, the gap was about 5 seconds. And now it's 11 seconds, and he's been overtaken by Perry. He's on the soft, so it should be quite easy to get that position off him. But this is not good for Asseldor, who wants to get the undercut done on everyone else. But the good news for Perry is, if he's ahead of Asseldor, he's going to be ahead of everyone who hasn't pit yet. Even though he's going to get overtaken, he should get overtaken fairly easily here, especially if he's sliding out of the corners like that. Asseldor's just going to drag his Alpha up into P8, and that is a net P2 again for Asseldor. He's lost minimum time there. So good news for Asseldor, but like I said, that was 11, is probably 12 seconds behind Higsy now with the fighting, but he's got the fresher tyres and the softer compound compared to Higsy for the rest of the race, and he's got 7 laps to try and catch. It's a tall order. It can be done. It really depends on how Higsy continues to manage his tyres towards the end of the race. So Sargent is our race leader. This is the lap I expect almost everyone to come in. Sargent definitely has to come in. Gilles maybe could eke out another lap on those mediums, but I don't see why you would. So Sargent's in, Gilles is in, Fak and Wack are in. So Fak's managed to get past Wack on that lap as well. Eroticos comes in, Scotty as well. So Higsy is going to retake the lead of this one. Let's ride on. Oh, look at this. Sargent only 7%. Gilles and Fak nearly 20%, both of them. Eroticos 25%. So Eroticos might get the jump on Wack here in the pits. So Higsy already coming through down into turn 1. Retakes the lead of the race. Now this is where the pain is going to begin for Higsy. He's going to have a huge time deficit to everyone else. We've got Asseldor still just ahead of Perry. Then we have Gilles coming out. He's taking 4th place. You got Raf actually taking 4th place off of Gilles with that hard to medium strategy. But Gilles, like I said, is going to be on the soft. He's going to be getting at least a little bit of revenge on his championship rival, who's beaten him to the title here. If he can get himself past. Then we have Sargent, who's dropped all the way down to 6th. Fak 7th, and Wack is 8th. Sargent and Fak having a nice little battle here. It looks like Sargent's covered him off. And then Eroticos didn't actually manage to make up that much time. And then Scotty's down in 10th. Right. Where is the battles? Gilles, yeah, it's going to be Gilles versus Raf. Raf on the mediums that are already a few laps old. Gilles on very fresh soft tyres now. Everyone has... Don't watch Eroticos leave the pits. Okay. Oh dear. Oh man, that would be a penalty. It wasn't reported though. Right, let's skip back forward to where we were. So at least Wack gets that position. He can try and chase down these guys ahead, and if Raf causes a bit of a train here on his medium tyres, that will still allow for the other guys to catch up to this train. Raf's fastest lap was a 57.4 on that previous one, and that is the fastest lap of the race, and he has set it on medium, so maybe he just didn't know what to do with those hard tyres, or maybe he was just massively fuel saving. That's also an option. He's done a huge undercut with his earlier pit stop, which is a strange benefit of the hard to medium strategy, isn't it? Higsy's previous lap at 59.6 compared to a 57.5. That is 2 seconds a lap quicker for Asseldor. If you can keep this up, he will catch Higsy probably before his tyres get too worn. And then Perry in the 58s, Raf's in the 58s. And we have to see what kind of pace these guys have, but they're going to get stuck in the 58s when they could be doing 57s in this train. Wack's got a half-second penalty. He's probably going to drop behind Roticos because of that. And we'll see if Scotty has pretty decent pace. We'll just have to see if he can catch back up without his wire coming loose again. And Asador's going purple by almost half a second halfway through the lap. So this is pretty bad news for Higgsy. He's getting caught very quickly. The lights have come on. That means it's pretty cloudy. Can't see any rain, but let's ride on board with Higgsy. The weather has changed completely here, so we could be in for a little bit of a downpour. Doesn't look like it's going to be a torrential kind of rain if it does come down. It looks more like spitting. Again, I bet everyone's eyes are absolutely glued on the weather radar right now. Gilles has managed to get past Raf. Let's see where that happens. Just brave on the brakes here. Finally, a couple of laps too late though for Gilles. And now he's got to try and catch Perry, who's also on the mediums. He's quite a way up. So, rounding this final bend, we've got 6 laps to go. Yeah, 59.4 for Higgsy. It's going to be a 58.2, so 1.2 seconds quicker Asador that time. Needs to keep it closer to 2 seconds, I think. Perry in the 58s, 57.9 for Gilles with the overtake, and that was his fastest lap. 58 flat for Sarge, 58.2 for Senor Fact, 58 flat for Eroticos. So none of them really getting in the 57s. And Asador is closing, every single sector is closing by a good chunk here. The question is, so Higgsy's on about 50% tyre wear, so he's going to start losing performance now. Asador's maybe got another lap in him before his tyres start losing performance, but his performance will drop quicker than Higgsy's, but by the end of the race they should both be on nearly dead tyres. So I don't know if that's going to help Asador or if it's going to hinder him. Has Asador actually won a race this season? I want to say no. There's a lot of people's picks actually in the predictor. For this tier, who did I... Oh, I went for Gilles, so I was alright. I was actually like joint winner, but I lost on countback because I didn't predict the right number of champions for the predictor league. Asador's best result was a second place in round 4. So, oh, it's raining! The rain is out, Asador has come into the pits, and Higgsy has stayed out. What's Perry? Perry stayed out, Gilles is coming in, Sargent and Raf are coming in, Senor Fax stayed out, Erotico's coming in, Wack is staying out, and Scotty is also coming in. So these guys think that it's going to need to be intermediate tyres. It is raining pretty hard at the moment. Let's see if these guys can keep it on track. This is definitely advantage Higgsy at the moment, but we are just dipping into intermediate territory. If you look at the water gauge, once it gets past a third full on the left bottom of the screen there, then it is better for intermediate tyres, and once it gets to about half full, it's pretty impossible for the dry tyres to kind of take corners, so Higgsy is going to have to be pretty careful, and there we go. And what about Perry's followed him off? So this is a disaster for these guys. Let's join with Asador, who's got onto the intermediates. We can already see Wack ahead of him. These guys really struggling to take these corners. So we've had 4 very brave souls who, I mean, we've got the yellow flags out. And yeah, that's an easy overtake there. So Asador up into 4th place now. Everyone's struggling to take these corners. Fac spinning around there. So there's Asador through there as well. And you can already see P2 and P1. Perry and Higgsy. Higgsy's already lost the lead. Perry's coping marginally better in these conditions. But look at this. Tiptoeing around the corners. Neither of them. And there we go. Asador in the lead of the race. Where's the next one? Here's Gilles. The next person he's got to overtake these guys. Quite a big gap. But it has stopped raining already. So these guys are going to have to make another pit stop here probably. Unless they try and stay out on the inters all the way to the end. So it's a question of survival. Gilles up into 4th now. Sargent's doing well and Raf is making his way through. Whack is already... Oh, there we go. A big spin for Higgsy. At least it was offline. Now what's Perry going to do? Is he actually going to make this corner? He actually makes it, which is pretty impressive. And he is coming into the pits. A little bit too late. I'd have probably just stayed out at this point. And Gilles is up into 2nd. We've got Sargent on the inters up into 3rd. And Raf up into what is going to be 4th place. Then we've got Eroticos on the inters is in 5th. Whack is carrying on. So he at least gets 1 position back. I think this is the right decision. Stay out on the soft. It has stopped raining. It is going to get drier. This might be a painful lap, but... maybe it wasn't the right choice. Where's Scotty? Scotty's caught up at the worst time, but he's just going to get past in between here and the next corner. You can kind of already see a dry line forming, though, which is bizarre. But yeah, these guys probably going to try and stay out on the mediums for the rest of the race. Oh, someone's got a big penalty. That is Eroticos getting a 3-second penalty from somewhere. Didn't come out of the pits on this lap though. Then we've got Perry down in 10th. Higgsy, well, Perry's gone onto the softs, which might not be a bad idea. Now that he's at the back, he's going to have a slightly drier track. You can see the sun's come out, so it should dry super quick now. So Perry might get a couple of positions. If I'm Asador, I might want to go back onto the softs right now. I don't know, it's tough. Because you don't want to just give up P1, but he's got quite a big lead here over Gilles. All of a sudden Gilles is doing really well and Raf's doing really well because of this carnage. They managed to pick the right strategy for at least this stage. Now what's going to happen? Because the sun is out. We're nearly into dry territory now. On the line. On the racing line, that is. Asador is staying out, so he is going to do the last 2 laps on inters, and that last lap is going to be very brutal. Gilles is doing the same. Raf and Sargent are doing the same. And then the guys further back here might be the ones that start to struggle and get caught a little bit. Senor Fac is the highest driver on the soft tyres. He's ahead of Whack, who's on the softs. Then you got Higgsy and Perry. These were the top 4. Oh, Fac's spat it again. That's 2 spins now for Fac. So Whack is the highest driver on the dry tyres. Setting a 2-minute 13 compared to Asador's 2-minute 2. And something's happening a bit further down. Eroticos versus Scotty. Scotty up into 5th. Remember, he was down in 10th after the pit stops before the rain came. And Eroticos trying to hold it. Some good little fighting going on between these two on the intermediate tyres. Scotty seems to have won that for now. A little bit further up, Asador, 2-minute 2s, 2-minute 2s for Gilles, 2-minute 2s for Raf. So that seems to be the pace on that previous lap. Scotty in the 2-minute 1s and Eroticos 2-minute 7. So definitely making some errors there. And Whack looks like he's absolutely flying now on these softs. I wonder how many positions he can take. You can see Eroticos and Scotty aren't too far ahead. You can see them, they've just going around the next corner now that Whack is approaching. They are in his sights. So he could still... Best case scenario, I think, for Whack is a top 5 here. Then we have Fac should have been a podium really for Fak. Perry at least should have been top 5. I think making that pit stop for Perry was very pointless, to be honest. But yeah, I don't blame him for trying something different. He might, I don't know, no, there's not going to be any fastest lap attempt anyway from Perry. Surely, I don't think it's dry enough to get those kinds of times in. So Asseldor is going to be again in the 1-minute 2s. Oh, Gilles power slided through the corner to start the final lap. He is in the 1-minute 1s. Okay, 1-minute 2s for Raf. Yeah, everyone on the inters is not, the times aren't coming down even though the track's drying. And Wack, who set a 2-minute 13, is identical to Asseldor in that lap time, which means this lap's going to be a lot quicker, but it might not be enough. Erotikos was only a second slower, so Wack's not really caught up to Erotikos at all on that previous lap, so he needs something really strange to happen, like Erotikos' tyres to completely burn up if he wants to actually finish in the top 6 here. So I think pitting has definitely turned out across the board to be the right decision, whether you were at the front of the grid or at the back of the grid. Staying out, it was just way too wet. Every one of these 4 drivers went off multiple times when it was too wet, and I think they're gonna be able to survive on these on this almost dry track. It is still just about wet enough to avoid the inters completely shredding here. And Asseldor, who was looking like he was going to challenge for the win in the dry, absolutely challenging for the win in the wet conditions here. Got the strategy call spot on. Did the opposite of Higgsy, who was leading the race, favourite to win the race. It was going to be war of attrition with the tyres at the end of the race between Asseldor and Higgsy, and we'll never find out how that was going to go. But Asseldor's going to take a hugely commanding win here in this feature race, his first win of the season in the last race of the season, in a very unfancied car. Not a very good car, I've got to say, at the moment with the current Bob. But it doesn't matter, he's going to still take it to take the win. Asseldor, rounding the final corner, is Gilles. Is going to consolidate his P2 in the championship with that P2 on the grid, and our champion Raf completes the podium. Sargent, a really good finish there in 4th place. Scotty, huge comeback there for 5th. Erotikos in 6th. Wack, the highest of the drivers who never put on the inters, in 7th, ahead of Perry. And then we've got the 2 Audis in the last couple of positions. What the hell? Is that maybe that's just how he feels like his race has gone. He's just committed a bit of self-sabotage there to finish his season. Not been the best of seasons for Higgsy in this Audi. He's not enjoyed it as much as some of the other cars that he's driven, that's for sure. And there we have it. That's the end. So what's coming up in ALR? Tonight we've got the Race of Champions. Tonight is also the deadline to sign up for Season 21. We've got an off-season event. I think the sign-ups are going to go up tonight or tomorrow. We've also got a spec series, which we aren't going to tell you what exactly it is yet. Last season we were in the Mazdas. This season, I'll give you a hint, we're in something slightly quicker. Ever so slightly quicker than a Mazda. So if you like fast cars in GT7, keep an eye out for that sign-up as well. A week today is going to be the calendar and tier reveal, so I've got to get a move on and get those graphics made. But if you're a Patreon, you're going to find out tonight. So if you want to join the Patreon, just have a little look in the Discord and how to do that if you want to find out what tier and what the calendar is going to look like. Apart from that, we got the Daytona 12 hours. I think we've got 16 teams signed up at the moment, so if you want to put a team together, fill out the form. Or if you don't have a team, you can still fill out the form. I'll put you in a little thread where you could discuss with other people and sort yourself out for a team if you want to do that. I think that's everything. Esports, if you have an esports team, go and talk to Pyro and Wack. I think now that's everything. So yeah, thanks for watching along with me this season. It has been a lot of fun. We'll see what tier I commentate next season. But yeah, thanks for watching.